here we are in lockdown. There's absolutely nothing happening, no events, FCE, first class events. We're a little bored. We've talked our good friend and the person we sponsor, professional jockey David Crosse, into doing podcasts with us. Excited, David?
I am indeed. Our first one now tonight, and really looking forward to it.
Do you know what a podcast is?
Don't have a clue. Well, you did send me a copy of one there recently. I listened to about 10 minutes of it of Peter Crouch or something like that. So it's basically guys chatting away and having a laugh, and that's hopefully what we're going to provide.
Let's see where we go. So you're a professional jockey. I know you pretty well. You're a busy guy doing your hospitality, doing your racing, doing everything under the sun. How are you coping with lockdown?
So far, so good. I was on a call a minute ago and I was absolutely raging, but other than that, it's pretty good, to be honest. Been here for quite a while now and locked up, but I've got plenty of stuff to do. I'm getting jobs around the place that I haven't been able to do for quite a while. I've got enough work to keep me going for another probably 6-7 weeks, so if the lockdown continues, I won't cry. Obviously, we got no jump racing till the 1st of July at least anyway. So, it's given me a nice chance to have a little bit of a break and let the body recover and the mind as well. Simple little things like going for a walk with the missus without having my phone on, feeling like I have to rush back. I'm enjoying certain things about it, definitely.
So what are you missing most out of your normal life, for want of a better expression?
I like in the summertime having a break from the horses. So generally I don't tend to ride out so much in the summertime unless I have to go in and school a horse I'm potentially going to ride. So obviously not riding out at the minute. So I'm just enjoying having a bit of a break from that. But the main thing you're missing at the minute is not so much the horses and that. It's the competitive side, the racing and beating the man next to you, the banter in the weigh room as well. And things like that. It's things like that. Like everyone, you speak to a lot more people now and you say, well, any news, any crack, what's happening, things like that. Absolutely zero is the answer. So there's not even much to chat about. So it'd be good when we do get back racing, catching up with everyone in the wear room, see what they've been doing. I know certain people have been growing beards. I was actually, the first month of lockdown, I was growing a beard myself, but I got that much abuse from my wife, from Noel Feely, from his Mrs. Natasha, absolutely reddened me. So much so then that her 2 kids, Michael and Neve, they've ended up giving me that much sharp about it. So between all 5 of them, I ended up having to shave it off anyway. Seeing you still got yours though.
Baby-faced again. You're looking baby-faced. Yeah, I've kept mine. I'm still going strong. The missus is not giving me too much stick yet, so I'll ride it out for a little longer.
Yeah,
so
I did have one. I've had one shave now. I think we might we'll see how it goes. But it's a novelty for a jockey to be able to grow a beard because there's not many jockeys you see actually race riding with a beard. So it's a bit of a novelty not being able to shave us where we shave every day. So it actually gives your skin a good chance. But I wouldn't have the best complexion in the world, would I?
I'm not one to give advice on complexion. So I just want to touch.
I wouldn't comment on that if I was you.
Yeah, I just want to touch on that competitive edge that you're missing. So are you an ultra competitive person?
I think any jockey is. You either have it or you don't. It's if I go for a walk with the missus, I have to be a pace in front of her. If I go for a cycle or anything like that, it has to turn into a race. Everything I do kind of turns into a race. I play a lot of golf, love golf, and the competitive edge of that. I don't like losing. We play for a few quid, and I don't mind losing a few quid if it's a good game and it's a competitive game and I've been competitive and just the other person outplayed me, as long as I've given my best. Whether you play a game of squash, football, whatever sport it is, you want to win. And it's not just jockeys. I think it must be with any competitive sports person. You either have that will to win or you're not going to be any good at your game.
Cool. So that competitive edge, obviously your sport isn't a head-to-head sport, so you don't come away losing as such. You're not going to win every race. You know you're not going to win every race. Are there certain races where you feel like you should have won, and then that sits with you for the next 24 hours, 48 hours, where you just eat you up inside that you feel like you should have won that race?
Yeah, there's different ways of looking at it. Like, for instance, if you ride a horse that's, the only way this horse can win is if everything else falls and you don't fall. Like if you're riding a horse that's a dodgy jumper, has a few more letters and numbers in front of its name, like I go out and try and analyze my horse, like from the betting form, and to give it its best chances. So if I'm riding a horse that hasn't jumped well in the past, has fallen last 2 runs or something like that, if I get that horse round in my own head, I will be thinking that's riding a winner. If I beat one horse, that's like riding 2 and things like that. Because one thing as a jockey, you will ride more losers than winners, and that's inevitable. They say Tony McCoy was the best ever jockey. He was actually the worst ever jockey in that case, because he rode more horses. I think he had 18,000 rides or something like that, and only 4,500 winners. So he rode more losers. He rode more horses than anyone else over jumps. So technically, he's the worst jockey ever in that case. But it's how you analyze each ride. So like if I'm riding a bad horse and it cannot win, what's the best I can do? And if I hit that target, for me driving home, that's ridden a winner. Do you know what I mean? But on the other side then as well, the races that you might think, I'm a great believer that the best horse will win a race 9 times out of 10, regardless of which jockey is in the weigh room is on it. Do you know what I mean? It's getting on those horses the hardest bit. But if you do get beat on a horse that you think you should have won on, yes, that will irritate you. But you learn to deal more so probably when you're younger, and you mightn't have another ride for another 2 or 3 weeks. As you get older, you learn to deal with it as well. But you ride in one race, half an hour later you're riding another race. You got to analyze, and you can't let it affect you. And the people that do let it affect them, they're no longer jockeys anymore, because they just can't mentally deal with riding losers every day of the week. Do you know?
That's really interesting. So would you call yourself a bad loser, or do you take defeat quite well?
I take if I've given everything my maximum, I don't mind getting beat. Do you know what I mean? As long as I've given everything 110%. Like I always say, when I look back at the end of my career, I want no regrets, because I put 120% into everything I do. And you know me, Callum, I generally do that anyway.
He certainly does do 110% into everything. A couple of questions for you, Crossey. I want one-word answers. Best thing about lockdown?
Sleep. But I'm probably getting less sleep now than normal. So no, I changed my answer. Home cooked food by the Crossmeister.
But I've heard a little rumour. You say you're getting less sleep. I've heard a little rumour that you're partial to a little afternoon power nap. Is this true?
Well, since I had that chat with you a few weeks ago, Cal, I don't think I've had a power nap in the afternoon since. But I thought with lockdown, I would get to have a sleep for at least 2 hours every afternoon. But I'm keeping myself that occupied. I'll save that for the lockdown in 2 or 3 months, when we're still locked down in 2 or 3 months' time.
Perfect. And then the worst thing about lockdown, one-word answer?
Not being able to get out and socialise.
Okay, it wasn't a one-word answer, but I'll give you that as tricky.
Hey, you know I like to talk. I can't do one words.
Perfect for a podcast. What can go wrong? So we're coming towards the end. I just want to put you right on the spot here. What's the one thing that your wife has learned?
I'm just crapping myself now thinking, what's he going to come out with here now?
What's the one thing that your wife has learnt about you that she didn't know from all those years of marriage that she's now discovered in lockdown?
That I'm a very good cook.
We need her to validate that, but we'll give you that one.
I think she knows everything else. She's an absolute saint for putting up with me, if I'm perfectly honest.
Good stuff. But it sounds like you're surviving lockdown. It sounds like you're keeping really busy, and hopefully we'll do loads of these podcasts to entertain us and all of our clients.
Well, hopefully I've entertained you there for the last 15 minutes, Cal.
Good fun.